delicious.
You can't be rushing.
Oh yeah, it's dinner time. Pretty sweet, huh?
Corsobuilt has got to be one of the most brilliant talents in the art world today.
Instant spray booth time. There's our sides. Here's our base. Need some light. Lazy Susan. Our subject. This is probably going to soak up really, really well because this is a fabric book. But that's all right. We got plans. This is just a base coat. Now that shaker really does make this paint flow real nice.
Really nice.
Spitty or spattery. Just came out and checked out our project here. I want to antique this a little bit. It's fabric, so I don't know how durable it is in terms of flashing and reapplying and stuff like that. But we're going to go ahead and try it anyway. So now I'm going to dust it in a couple spots with black. I want it to be predominantly dark with like some lighter highlights, but I put my light color down first. And then I'm going to top coat it and mist it, or whatever you want to say. That's what we're going to do here, and see what kind of effect we can get on this. So let me get you out of harm's way over here. We're going to shake it up and make it happen. I did have a viewer ask me, is that thing really necessary? Probably not, but there is a noticeable spray performance difference between handshaking and that little contraption. It seems to be more consistent, it doesn't spit and sputter, and I like the coverage a little bit better. Plus, who doesn't need another tool, right? I guess we're going kind of for like something you might see in a haunted house. Crusty and dusty. I guess this is the patina for a book. But you see how nice and smooth and consistent that mist is? It doesn't spit at all. Not half as much as I do. I kind of dig it. Worst case scenario, we can load up the airbrush and highlight some stuff. But other than that, you'll see what's going to happen. It's going to be really cool. But that's good enough. See if we can get the right light in here. Kind of got like a crimson burgundy look to it. Ew. Gross. And we're back. Really think I'm kind of getting the hang of this thing, guys. More killer, less filler. So without further ado, let's get to it. I did take some notes, and on these notes, I got a couple key points on here. But before we get into all of that, it's gonna start out with cutting a panel. So let's do that, shall we? I'll show you how to cut it. I'll show you how to snap it. We did it before, but it never hurts for a refresher, right? So let's go. Wasn't that easy? Mark it, score it, snap it. Now we're gonna peel this up, we're gonna scuff it, we're gonna do our base coats. Gotta do patina, man, that's kind of our thing, you know. So we're gonna put down a primer, we're gonna put down a top coat, we're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna get at it. Our size is good. We're going to scuff this bad boy up so we can get some tooth for that paint to grab onto. And just a Scotch-Brite pad, nothing crazy. Probably, I don't remember which one, red or gray. Whichever one's a little bit finer, that's what we're gonna use. But we're gonna scuff it, we're gonna coat it, and you don't need to know that because you've already seen it a bunch of times. So there you go. Now it's paint time, so we get to construct our makeshift paint booth, exclusively designed, CAD designed, there you go, CAD, cardboard aided design. Yeah, there's that. We need a holder upper, non-gloss Rust-Oleum. That shit is stinky. But there you go. So while that's doing that, we're gonna go do this. Got 2 coats of prime down. It has a little texture to it, and because I'm gonna do some leaf on this stuff, I don't want any type of texture. So I'm knocking it down with 1000 grit, a little bit of soap, a little bit of water, making it nice and smooth. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put down my base coat, and I think I'm doing 3 colors or 3 tones because I want a cool little wear through, kind of like this little coffin guy right here. I like the way that this came out. I like the colors. And the client likes warm colors, so that's going to be the model that we follow. So I'm going to get this all nice and smooth like a baby's ass. And we'll put some more color on it. Now we wait for paint to dry. So let's take a little minute here talk about what we're doing. So this is gonna be one of my pinstriped patina panels, but we're gonna do some spun silver leaf, and the whole reason we're doing this is a gift slash trophy style slash mantelpiece for my buddy Marshall. It's his 25th wedding anniversary. So we kind of went back and forth, bounced some ideas off of each other, and I gathered all kinds of good little pieces of information, and I'm gonna reveal that to you in the end as we explain the finished product. But that's what's driving us. We know where we're going, we know what we're doing. Second coat is down, waiting for it to dry, and that's all I got. So,
Oh yeah, it's dinner time.
that's not the only hot piece of meat in my kitchen. Look at that.
Really? You're tuna.
Delicious. And we're back. Our panel's been dry for a couple days now. We got 2 coats of primer on there and a top coat. Now we're gonna give it a little bit of patina. I'm gonna hit this with a little soapy water mixture, and we're gonna go 600, 800, 1000, 3000. A little bit of an overkill, but we want this smooth as glass because we're gonna do some spun leaf on it. So that's what we're doing. So check it out. Oh yeah, check this out. Pretty sweet, huh? This is a work shirt that I designed for Puddin's Fab Shop. I don't know if he's got any of them left, but it was a super fun project and I appreciate the opportunity. So if you guys want one, check it out, puttinsfabshop.com. If he's got some left, go check it out. I think he did these in a black t-shirt design as well, but if they're sold out, rumor has it there might be another batch. You might want to check back on that one. I think that'll do it right there. Not as much varied texture or pattern as I like to do, but that's for a reason. But you can see the 2 reds and the black coming through. You can see a little burn through right there. That'll probably get covered up, but that's where the original color of the board's coming through. But what I really like about doing this stuff by hand is I can control the patina pattern as well as create a nice matte backdrop so that when we do leaf it and do our striping, the gloss of that has an instant contrast, as well as the random pattern for the background and then the symmetrical design on top of it. It all just creates really, really good positive contrast, and I think that's what makes these things look really cool. I dig it, and the inspiration for the color scheme on that came from our coffin panel right here. So that's where it's headed, and I guess I can give you a sneak peek here of why we're doing what we're doing. So this book used to be gray, and we're gonna mount that to the book. We're gonna do some leaf and striping on it, and this is gonna sit on like a trophy stand. Now the really cool thing about this, and I'm not sure if this is me or if this is Marshall, but it opens up. So I don't know, hide something in there. Keys, money, a pistol, maybe put a
a picture of you and the missus in there, because this is for your anniversary and it's going on the mantle. That's up to you, buddy, but stay tuned. Moving forward, I have my layout centered and in line with my panel. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to gold leaf it, and I don't want to scratch up the background that we worked so diligently to apply to the panel. So we're going to slip some Sorel paper in there. Underneath that, we're all masked off. We're going to trace everything out. Hold on. Sorry about the interruption. Where were we? Oh yes. I coated the panel with some vinyl application tape because we're going to use that as a huge mask. And then this spear and these two spears and all this lettering, it's all going to get silver leafed, and we're going to spin it. And that's why we're going to leave the mask on, so that when we spin it, we don't scuff the paint of the background. After that, we'll line it back up again, reapply the Sorel, and mark out all of our line work. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, you're a pinstriper. You should be able to freehand everything. Well, yeah, that's true, but I don't do this every day, and I don't do it for a living, and I believe that accuracy counts, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you deliver a solid product to your clients and they love it. And that's what's going to happen because of the way that I do things. So if you don't like it, tough shit. That's how I do it. It's silverleaf time. Check it out. All weeded out. Those are the 3 center spears in our pinstripe design. And this pinstripe design at request was to be very Art Deco, right? 40 style stuff. So long vertical lines, waterfall, swoopy type stuff. So you'll see that after we lay out the stripes. But for the time being, we're going to size this up. We're going to tint our size, which we're using ducks, by the way. Ducks. We're going to tint it with just a little bit of gray. It's a medium gray from One Shot. Needs to be mixed up a little bit. But that way, if we have any burn through, it'll help with that, as well as tinting your size just a little bit helps you see where you're applying it. So if you're missing a spot or you have a void, you'll be able to see it, being that sizing is clear. So that's really the primary point of tinting your size. The secondary benefit is that if you do have a burn through, hopefully there's enough in there to where it covers those voids. So we're going to get at it. And our leaf here, imitation silver leaf, which we all know it's actually aluminum. But again, that's coming from our friends at WB Leaf. So I put that in the last video. I can put it in this video too. So check it out. Now we wait. And I just noticed that I look like Johnny Depp from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Close, right? So there you go. The ring light is our friend right now, and it's showing you that we are thoroughly sized up. Oh, let's see. Let's call it 135. So we're going to check that in an hour. We'll give it the knuckle streak test, see if it gives us the squeak that we want. So in the meantime, I am going to clean out my brush and probably make me a sandwich. On second thought, like, sandwich is a good idea and all that, but we need a spinner. We are right at 1 hour. Peep on my squeak. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Should be just a little bit higher pitched. It still felt just a tiny bit soft. So in 5 minutes, we gonna get spinning. Now we're ready. But just remember, when it comes to doing leaf, you can't be rushing. Now you might be saying to yourself, Corsobuilt, skin metal wood. Boy, Rob, you sure do wear a lot of hats, don't you? I suppose I do. Let's get leafing. Here we go. This little contraption right here, it's a disposable cuticle pusher. You can get them by the bagfuls, but they're really cool because, as you could see as I was going through this, you can really get down in the nooks and crannies and push that leaf into the corners. And that's, of course, if you do it the way that I do it, and that's masking it out. You know, you don't have to do it that way. And let me just go ahead and premise by saying, like, all the stuff that I'm showing you guys, it's just the way that I do it. It's not the only way to do it by any means. It's just what works for me, or what I've learned. And I'm sure at some point I'll probably learn a better way to do it. But for the time being, this is what I know. And so far, it has not let me down. My clients are happy. I'm happy. And I think you guys are happy too. This is a gilding brush. It's for Gilder's dust removal. You don't have to use this. You can use a very soft makeup brush as long as it's a natural fiber. You can even use natural cotton as well. And you're just loosening up all the extra leaf and getting it out of the way. What I like to do is I like to use a little bit of suction, like a hand vacuum, because this stuff will make a big old mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my little dust buster vacuum and suck up all these little shillings and bring you along for the ride. Check it out. There you have it, folks. Dude, why is it every time you turn on your camera after a day or so when you recorded previously and the battery says 30%, does it instantly go to low battery and shut off? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is here's where we're at. Check this thing out. I dig it. Now you'll notice that I did red on red on red. I wanted it subtle, but I still wanted it noticeable. So the contrast comes from the gloss of the paint against the matte background. We're still going to go back in, and this is actually what we're going to do right now. The E&M, we're going to outline that in the maroon, and where it says years, we're going to outline that in maroon also. And then we're going to come back in, and the 25 is going to be in the bright red, just so we balance everything out. You know, contrast is good, and there's all types of contrast. You got positive contrast, you've got negative contrast. As long as it works with the eye, that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, when you're finished with your project and you like it and your client likes it, who cares who else likes it? That's all that matters. So we're going to go ahead and get some brushes loaded up. Usually for all my outlining on stuff like this, I'll use my Virus 2s. And you'll notice those because they are distinctive with their purple handles. And that's what we're doing. So dig it.
You'll really like.
So right now we're using heat press and we're doing a little bit of sublimation. We're transferring a photo to some material and we're going to use that on the inside of our project. We're just about there, so check it out. So we got that hot material
sandwiched between a couple plates here. It's gonna help cool the material down, keep it flat. So as soon as this is cool, I'll show you what we got.
And here's the big reveal. Bam.
What's up, everybody? We're mic'd up today, so who knows what you're gonna pick up in the microphone. I got a fan going because it's humid in the garage. The doors are open, there's cars going by, there's birds chirping, whatever. Environmental hazard, stressors, whatever you want to call it. Either way, last we left off, I was showing you guys a little bit of sublimation, right? If you're not familiar with sublimation, sublimation is the process of transferring an image onto a medium, preferably some sort of porous medium, because sublimation, supplemented, I don't know what you call it. You're basically using heat to transfer an image not onto something but into something so that it lasts longer, it looks better. And in this case, what we're doing is we're using a piece of Kydex. So remember that whole I wear many hats thing? I hope so, because you just watched it. So when it's slow on the paint side or on the tattoo side, I got a buddy that owns a holster shop, and he makes custom one-off Kydex holsters. blacksmithtactical.com if you guys want to check out if that's your thing. If not, that's cool too. But he's got all the tech. So we took a piece of Kydex, used a heat press, sublimated a picture for our project, and I don't want to show you this image too much because it's not mine to show, but real quick, it's a wedding photo, right? And this is going to go into the 25th anniversary gift from my buddy Marshall, and his wife doesn't know, so hopefully he gets this before the video comes out, which is most likely because I'm behind a couple weeks. We're going to cut this down to make the size of the material a little bit easier to manipulate. Kydex, it's score it and snap it, man. That's all you got to do is score it and snap it.
You don't score until you score.
Sometimes I like to whistle while I work. Well, not really, but I will talk. So as I'm scoring this, you'll notice that it's very flexible, right? Might even say flimsy. So you gotta be careful. But as I'm doing this, I'm wondering, so I'll score it like twice, then I'll come back in here and drag over my score just to make it deeper so we get a clean break. And I hope you can see it from where you're at. I'm leaving a border. If you do recall, this is a mantelpiece that's going to be on a display stand. So the size of the overall project had to be one that sat on an 8-inch deep mantle. No problem, right? No problem. But I wanted to capture a couple elements. She likes to read. She's into books. He likes some of that like 1940s Art Deco stuff. He likes hot rod stuff. He likes my pinstripey stuff. So that's kind of why we did the layout that we did here, right? Look, it's a book box. Pretty sweet, huh? Sweet. Check this out. So I was telling you about my buddy Brandon. He's kind of like the tech guy. Like his holster shop is fully teched out. Well, we got a 3D printer that we played with too. Look at that bad boy. That's a little hard hat. And that's a little crowbar. Why is that important? When these two met, they were both doing like demolition and rehab. I believe it was for schools. I don't recall exactly. But one of the first things that they did every time they started their day was everybody was issued a hard hat and everybody was issued a crowbar. And if it wasn't for that, they would have never met. So I thought that was a cool little caveat to add to this thing, you know, just a little stroll down memory lane.
Okay, check this out. This is what I'm thinking. So this is up in a stand, so it's actually going to be tilt back slightly like that, right? So that's the display, and then you can come in here and you can open it up. I'm going to do about a 1-inch floating raised mount, and down on the bottom is going to be our hard hat and our pry bar. Simple, sweet, and from the heart. That's what they like, fellers. That's what they like. I'm going to paint those little pieces, figure out how to make that mount permanent because it's just taped in place right now. And that's probably going to do it. So we hit that with some primer. I don't know why they call these things Lazy Susans, man, because they do the work, son. Well, we have come to the end of our journey. One last thing to do before we button up our anniversary book project, and that's going to be to affix our hard hat and crowbar. So check this out. We 3D printed a little hard hat, primed and painted, as well as this adorable little crowbar. So we're busting out the hot glue gun with a little bit of Gorilla Glue, and we're going to affix these something like that right there in the bottom. And there you go. I call that a win, and I hope they enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. So, until next time.